We're going to set these synthetic brush knots into these beautiful shaving brush handles coming up next.
Oh, that's nice and smooth.
Hi, YouTubers and wet shavers everywhere. It's MarkWithGeorgeToon.com. I'm back with another video. This time around, we're finally going to set these beautiful synthetic shaving brush knots into these absolutely wonderful shaving brush handles. Here we have the G5C synthetic brush knot, which is going to be set into the Altair shaving brush handle. We also have a Pure Bliss shaving brush knot that's going to go into the CB Brushworks shaving brush handle. The CB Brushworks shaving brush handle came from viewer Chris Bodrab. Chris, thank you very, very much. And the Aylesworth Altair shaving brush handle came from viewer David Dart. David, thank you very, very much. Now, we're going to be using Gorilla waterproof caulk and seal. This is a silicone adhesive. This was recommended by Caleb of Aylesworth Razors. This is what he uses to set his knots into his Altair shaving brush handle. So that's what we're going to use. The advantage here is that if you ever have to go back and reset the knot, all you have to do is introduce some very, very hot water, I guess, and run it on the outside of the handle, I would assume, and that will soften up the adhesive, and you'll be able to remove that knot a little more easily. If you use an epoxy, well, then you're going to have to drill things out. And that's what we want to avoid should we ever run into a problem where we need to replace a knot. So that's a very, very good, helpful tip. We're also going to use 2 quarters. These 2 quarters gets this brush knot at the right depth. So here's what we're going to do with the Altair handle. Right here you can see has a little bit of a lip there. Can you see that little bit of a lip in there? Okay, so we're going to take some of that adhesive, that silicone adhesive, and we're going to run it around. Here it is right here. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little lip in there. I'm trying to play with the leg. There it is. You can see that? We're going to run some adhesive right around the inside of that. We're going to put in a quarter, drop a quarter in, all right? And then we're going to another little almond-sized piece of silicone adhesive, and then another quarter, and then drop that in, a little more adhesive, an almond-sized, and then we're going to set the knot like that, and that'll bring it to the perfect height. So the number of quarters and the glue is what is being recommended by Caleb of Aylesworth. So we're going to use the same method with the CB Brushworks shave brush handle. There's the logo on the bottom there, CB Brushworks. And we're going to use 3 quarters because we met both Caleb and Chris Bodrab at the Maggard meetup, and these gentlemen agreed that 3 quarters is probably what's going to work here on this one brush here. The chessboard shaving brush handle, that's what I call it, the chessboard shaving brush handle, and the Pure Bliss synthetic knot. So a little bit of glue, drop in a quarter, a little more glue, drop in a quarter, a little more glue, drop in a quarter, and then seat the knot. And that should, you can see there, you just barely see, that's going to bring it to the correct height. That little bit of glue will just raise that knot a little bit, and it should be at the perfect height. Now what we're trying to avoid is any overrun. We don't want to put so much glue in there that it runs up the sides of the brush handle and damages the bristles here. Now I'm trying to keep everything within the frame of videoing here, and hopefully I'll be successful. So we also have some extra paper towels up above here. I've got some newspaper spread down on my dining room table. I've got some extra paper towels here to kind of wipe away any residual adhesive if it runs over. I don't think it will. I've got some gloves here for my hands because I did use this particular silicone adhesive for a household project before cameras rolled here, and this will get sticky on your fingers. Be very, very careful. I would recommend using some kind of a glove. So that's what we got going on. We also made sure everything is clean from the handles to the quarters, and we used Trader Joe's Castile soap. This is their peppermint multi-purpose Castile soap. This is like Dr. Bronner's. It's their brand of a Dr. Bronner's kind of Castile soap. So that's what we used. So you know what? Let's put on these gloves and let's get right to it. I'm wearing short sleeve. I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, so my sleeves won't get in the way. And here we go. I'm excited. We're gonna do the CB Brushworks handle first because this doesn't have a lip, and I can kind of gauge how much glue is going to go in there. And we're going to get like an almond-sized bit of glue to go in there. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, there it is. Oh boy, that might be too much. Man, oh man, oh man. Let me see. We're going to drop the quarter, and that's probably, might be too much. Let's see if we can just kind of scrape that down there a little bit and then seat that in there. Okay. And then you know what? We're going to use just a little more glue here, like an almond size is what they say. Okay, that much right there. And we're going to put the other quarter in there. Press that down. Okay, let me just see if I can wipe that away. Okay, yeah. Got a little bit running on the side there, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. A little more. Yeah, you really want to have, and I'm trying to make sure that I have everything in frame on camera. Here's a little more glue here. Okay. And then, you know, almond size is what I'm hearing, and I'm thinking that's a little smaller than almond size, but I'm erring on the side of less is more. Okay, that's that right there. And okay, I'm pressing that down. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the final little bit here. There we go. That's the almond size there, that right there, okay? Here's the Pure Bliss knot right here, and that is going to be set in there like that. And you can kind of see how the glue squeezed together. It's not running up. Everything is seated. I'm going to hold it there a little bit. And as you notice, I'm using my left hand to insert the knot because that's the side of that's the glove that didn't touch the glue. I just realized that. Boy, I got lucky. Okay, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to make sure not to grab it with my right hand, the top of the knot that is, because, and you can see the quarters in there and how the glue is cemented together. It's kind of, you can see that. That's why we're doing it first, so we can kind of get an idea of where the glue is running. And it looks like that's probably the perfect amount. You can see a little bit of the quarter right there. Okay, so, okay. Well, we're going to set that one aside, okay? And we'll check that in 12 hours. Boy, that was fast. Okay, I'm going to set this one off to the side there and kind of get it out of the way of the camera. All right, now, next up is the Altair, and hopefully I'm using enough glue. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, everything's been cleaned. 2 cores is what's been recommended. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to run this glue right around the inside here of that lip, and that's a little more difficult to try to kind of get that there on there. Okay, there it is. Okay, it's kind of in there. Okay, again, with my right hand, I'm going to drop that quarter in. Okay, oh yeah. Good thing I'm using a glove because that is getting all over. Okay. And we're going to use an almond size. I'm going to be a little more generous this time with the glue here. About an almond size right there. That's what I'm going to use right there. All right. And then here comes quarter number 2, going to drop in like that. Okay, maybe you can see some of the glue. I don't know if you can see some of the glue that's, let me see if I can get the light over here a little more. See a little bit of the glue there, kind of around the sides. Okay. Okay, don't want the light to topple over. Okay, now, here we go with an almond-sized bit of glue on top of that quarter there. And then this will set the knot. Okay, and that's probably about where I'm at here. You can take a look at that and get the light on there. See that? All right, here we go. Hopefully that's not too much. Okay, and again, left hand, because that didn't hold the glue. That's the hand that did not handle the glue. So here we go. We're going to set this, and hopefully this will, and I think that's got it. I think that's perfect. I don't see any glue running up the sides at all. Maybe a little bit right here that I'm going to wipe away. There might be a little bit right here. I'm going to wipe that away. I think that's got it. I think that's a really near perfect job. I think that little bit of glue that was there was the residual that came off of the little spout there, the applicator tip, when I was putting the glue in there. And I think that's got it. Okay. All right. Again, I made sure to just, I think there might be a little bit of glue there that I want to wipe away. I think that might have it. Okay, I got lucky with, again, making sure I didn't. I'm just looking at everything here. I don't see anything in the way of glue overrun. Boy, that looks nice, doesn't it? So there's the, there is the Aylesworth Altair handle with the G5C knot. And here is the CB Brushworks chessboard handle with the Pure Bliss shave brush knot. And we're going to let these sit for 12 hours, and then we'll be back in about 12 to 24 hours to give you the final result. Let's frame that up a little bit better there. How about that? Like that, okay? Does that work? Okay, kind of get this stuff out of the way so you can kind of see it, get it framed up nicely. So we're going to let that sit for at least 12 hours. I'm told 12 hours and you're good to go. So that's what we have. Mission accomplished. The Aylesworth Altair brush handle. We've just seated and affixed the G5C synthetic shaving brush knot that we got from AP Shaving Company, and the CB Brushworks chessboard shaving brush handle with the Pure Bliss synthetic shaving knot that we got from AP Shaving Company. So we're all set, and I can take these off now and kind of discard these and get rid of these, and then maybe put the cap back on this guy here so that the spout doesn't clog up, and then I think we'll be all set. So my thanks to Caleb at Aylesworth for the instruction. My thanks to Chris Beaudrad for the shaving brush handle and the instruction. My thanks to David Dart for the beautiful Aylesworth Altair shaving brush handle. Gentlemen, thank you one and all. Folks, we'll be back in about 12 to 24 hours to continue this video to see what our final result is. I'm hoping for success. I'll see you in about 12 to 24 hours. Well, okay, here we are. It's been a little over 24 hours. I haven't touched the knots at all. I have kind of grabbed these by the handles to kind of position them for this particular part of the video. So we're going to go ahead and check these out. Let me just set this one back here like this, and we'll take a look at this one here, the chessboard brush handle with the Pure Bliss knot. And let's see, you can see how that's been glued in there. You can kind of see, the glue's like on one side there, and then maybe you can see a little bit of the coins through there like that. So I don't know, let's see. Oh boy, that's good and solid. Wow. And that's nice. Boy, that's really, really nice. That's terrific. Wow. That's great. Again, CB Brushworks right there. Boy, that is really, really true. Boy, that's in there. Yeah. Now again, let me see if that's in there. That feels like it's in there pretty good. We'll see how it holds up. I'm not sure about the lack of glue here. It looks like there is some glue there. I mean, between the coins, but it looks like it all squeezed off to the opposite side here. You can see that. See how that's kind of in there now? a little bit there, and then, but it looks like it's in there very, very well. So there it is. The chessboard handle from CB Brushworks. Thanks again to Chris Beaudrab for this. Pure Bliss Knot from AP Shave Company. Yeah, that came out nicely. All right, let's look at the Aylesworth Altair brush right here with the G5C knot. Boy, that's a good looking brush, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Wow, oh boy, that's nice. Boy, that's just the right amount of backbone too. That's terrific. Boy, this was, and it's in there. It's really in there. Man, wow, how about that, huh? There's the Aylesworth logo right there. So thanks to Caleb Aylesworth for giving me all the pointers on installing the G5C knot into the Aylesworth Altair brush handle. My gosh, and thanks to David Dart for very kindly sending along this brush handle. Now, they're both great. This was easier than I thought. You can kind of see the difference in the size and in the knots and how they kind of stack up one to the other. Look at how that, I mean, you know, this really, this one here, the 3/4 seems to have given it the proper depth. That's really terrific. And it has, you know, a little bit of size because of those quarters in there. And the 2/4 in the Altair here, boy, that's perfect. That sized it up perfectly. And I think I got the proper amount of glue in there to hold these knots in place. Sure feels like it. And boy, this handle on this Altair feels great. And this handle here, this feels wonderful as well. And those extra quarters in there give it a little more heft, which is nice. Boy, that worked out really, really well. I'm very, very happy with how these brushes came out. So I'm going to give you a look at them like this. Isn't that great? So my thanks again to Chris Beaudrab for the chessboard brush handle. And a big thank you to David Dart for the Altair, the Aylesworth Altair handle. The G5C knot fit in there very, very nicely. And the Pure Bliss shave knot fit into the chessboard handle very, very well. Yeah, boy, this came out great. So that's it right there. Those are the brushes, and that was a lot easier than I thought. So my thanks to everyone for all your pointers and tips and instructive information in helping me get this done. It was much, much easier than I had anticipated. I thought I was going to have some problem, but because I listened to Caleb and Chris and some other viewers out there who messaged me, I got through this really very, very easily. This was marvelous, and I look forward to doing it again down the road now that I have an understanding and I've got the proper silicone adhesive for this. It was absolutely fantastic. So thanks again to David Dart, to Chris Beaudrab, and to Caleb at Aylesworth for everything. I really appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you again very, very much. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. Please share, please subscribe, please like. Hit that bell so it'll give you a yell the next time I upload a video. Comment below, let me know. Check out my Amazon product page at amazon.com/shop/MarkZeraidy, where you'll find all the Amazon listed products that I review in this channel, organized and categorized so you can find everything in a snap very easily. Thanks very much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you again real soon.